What's up, everybody? It's Jordan, aka Hootie Nation News. Welcome to the 24th episode of the Hootie Nation podcast. On today's episode, we're going to do a position overview of the running back position.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and get started with our grades on each position, or on the running back position, and each grade is going to be for their role and not necessarily how good they are. So, do you want to go ahead and get started with Joe Mixon?
Mixon, I have a plus. He's a top 10 running back in the league. It could be argued that he's a top 5 running back. He's had back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons with a horrible offensive line. The last 8 games of last season, he averaged over 100 yards a game. Like I mentioned, with the offensive line, you do not know who he's going to be starting where. And 3 years him playing, has yet to have a fumble. One of the best backs in the league. So I would give Mixon a plus.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm an A plus for Joe Mixon. I think he's an elite running back. Give him right now. I think he's top 7 at least in the league, and if you just watch him play, he's a game changer in the Bengals offense. I think with Joe Burrow coming in, some of the new plays they're bringing in with Joe Burrow, I think you're going to see him play more. He's going to get more balls caught. He's going to be in more of a receiving role out of the backfield, and that's something that I think is going to be really big for the Bengals offense. And when he was in college, he was involved a lot in the passing game, and I'd like to see more of that from him. And he's already very established in the league in the running game, so I think he's an A plus. We got a real good one there with Joe Mixon, and I'd like to see an extension maybe. Usually I'm pretty against giving running backs big contracts, and I'd like to see it more team friendly, and maybe they can work something out. But I think you're getting more than just a running back. I think really for the Bengals, I think they're getting more out of Joe Mixon, maybe not running wise, but then like the Cowboys are getting out of Zeke. Mixon's more, he can catch the ball too. He's a team leader. He kind of sets the tone for everything. So I'd like to see them definitely get that deal done.
I totally agree. So what is your grade for Giovanni Bernard?
So Bernard in the running back 2 spot on the depth chart, I give him a B plus. I think he's just a good guy that can step in for Mixon. I think he's definitely, running back is the most interchangeable position in the league. I think they're expendable, but you got a veteran than Giovanni Bernard he gets things done. He comes in and he's more of a versatile, balanced running back, and he's not really not much of a power guy. But I think having a veteran like that can play just behind Joe Mixon, get him a break every once in a while, and then even kind of get him in on different passing sets. I think Bernard's a good asset to have.
I have a grade B for Bernard. He's a really reliable running back of Mixon's. Went down like he has before. Bernard stepped up and has played well. But over the last few years, his production has went down a little bit. Obviously, because not getting as many carries from Mixon, he's not really been involved in the offense as much. And his yards per carry has dropped over the last few years too. But he is a reliable running back, like I mentioned, and he's really nice to have somebody if Mixon goes down, Bernard can step in and play really well. Any team in the NFL would be lucky to have a guy like Bernard, who's a better running back, who would be really good for a running back number 2. So what are your thoughts on Trayveon Williams?
So for Trayveon Williams, I kind of see him. I give him just see the same thing in him as I see in Giovanni Bernard, just a lot younger. And it was rookie deal at Texas A&M, so I'd like to see more from him playing time. But I think he's the same type of player as Giovanni Bernard, and I think if Bernard would get hurt, he can kind of fill the role that Bernard plays. And maybe eventually as he gets older, he can kind of fill that role even more as Giovanni Bernard did. Or if they decide to free up cap space by cutting Bernard, at this point I don't really see that happening. But if that would be the case, I think he can fill that role on the team. So I think I give him a C right now. I'd still like to see more from him, but I'm still pretty confident that he's a solid player. I think he definitely could have been drafted a lot higher when the Bengals drafted him. But I think he has the potential to be a pretty decent. I don't think he's starter, but he has potential to be a pretty decent backup like Giovanni Bernard is.
I agree. I think he could be, like you said, a potential replacement for Bernard. His last season at A&M, he nearly had 1,800 rushing yards, and he had 18 rushing touchdowns. He didn't have any carries for us last season while playing in 11 games because he mainly played special teams, but he has lots of potential. I think he could be a nice backup running back in the league. But I have a C plus for him right now because he's not had a carry. He's not had experience. But after the season, I feel like it'll go up because I feel like the limited carries he'll get this season, I think he'll be pretty good. So what do you have for Rodney Anderson?
So for Rodney Anderson, he's a guy I have a lot of hope in. I think I'd like to see him get some more snaps this year, get some carries. Well, he didn't play last year due to injury. But I give him a B minus, even though he hasn't played yet. I think a power running back is something the Bengals could kind of use more than they have. You know, Mixon's pretty balanced, but just a guy that come in and third down situation, third and short or goal line, and get stuff done around there. He's more of a power back, so I like him. I think he's got pretty good potential, and he was just a beast at Oklahoma. He's another guy that should have got drafted a lot higher if it weren't for injuries. So I think they got a pretty good. You know, I think he's going to end up being the third running back behind Bernard. I think they're going to bring him in. He's just different than any of the other backs they have. He's more of a power guy, so I'd like to see him get some more snaps this year in third and short situation.
For Anderson, I have a C plus on him. He tore his ACL in the preseason last year and was out for the year. But when he played in the preseason, he looked like he was going to be pretty good for us. Since he was out for the year, obviously he didn't play any regular season games for us. In Oklahoma, um, he was injury prone there as well. He's easily our power back of our backfield. If he can stay healthy, he could be great for us. But he's really, really injury prone. He reminds me, like how you said, should have been drafted a lot higher. He's like Marcus Bailey, the draft pick, a 7th round draft pick this last year. If he would have been healthy, he would have been drafted in the 3rd or 4th round easily. And he could be really good for us, but he just has to stay healthy. I would give Anderson, like I said, a C plus. So what do you have for Samaje Perine?
For Perine, I have a C. He could be lower just because he's more of I think he's just another body to have. He's just a balanced back that if something would happen, if they have all the injuries in the field, that he can just step in. But he's going to be more of a backup. And I just like him. He's got that Oklahoma connection with Mixon and Rodney Anderson. I think he's just a good team guy. He's definitely pretty good for a fourth running back. So I think he just kind of rounds out the running back position pretty nicely for the Bengals.
For Perine, I have a C. I would not be surprised if Perine would make the team. And I think I might have said it on a couple episodes ago. I would not be totally surprised if Bernard got cut for us to keep Perine. The Bengals are really high on Perine. He was with the team a little bit last season, and when they had to waive him, they said that was really difficult because they liked him a lot, like you mentioned. Has the connections to Anderson and Mixon at Oklahoma. He's played in 28 NFL games, 188 carries for about 650 yards and 1 touchdown. I feel like I said, I feel like they like him a lot. Has the connection. He's a dark horse to make the team. I think he will make. I think he'll be one of the surprise people that we actually keep on the team. So this episode is pretty short. So where can some of the listeners follow you on social media?
So at BJewel43 underscore is my Twitter, and at BJewel43 is my Instagram. And follow me on Twitter. That's where most of the Bengals stuff is at.
Make sure to go follow Blake on Instagram and Twitter. Make sure to follow me, WhoDayNation _ news on Instagram, WhoDayNation News without the underscore on Twitter, and also go subscribe to our YouTube channel at the WhoDayNation Podcast. We would greatly appreciate it. And that really about does it for this episode. And until next time, Who Day.